Alright, in this video about coordinate geometry, we are going to learn how to find the distance between 2 points on an xy plane. You only need to memorize this formula, distance formula. D is equal to under root x2 minus x1 whole squared plus y2 minus y1 whole squared. This x2, x1 and y2, y1, I'm just going to tell you what these are. Okay, here we have an example. We have this graph xy plane and we have 2 points. Let's say it P1 and let's say it P1 and let's say it P2. It doesn't matter which one you call which. Okay, here the coordinate of these points are 1, 1, 1. Its x coordinate is 1 and its y coordinate is also 1. That's P1. Okay, here we have P2. That equals, it has x coordinate as -3 and it has its y coordinate as -2 over here. -3 and -2. Okay, here we assign the 1s and 2s. The x1 and y1 correspond to 1 point and the x1 and y1 correspond to 1 point and x2 and y2 correspond to the other. Okay, so here let's assign the 1 to these ones. Here we have this x1 and y1 and here we have x2 and y2. Let's just put these values in the formula. D is equal to under root x2. What do we have x2? Here we have -3 minus, and what do we have here? X1 is 1, -1, and we square it and we add it with y2. What's y2? We have -2 and minus the formula and we write as 1 over here and square it. Okay, just remember that this minus sign is of the formula. Suppose we had this -1. Suppose if it was -1, just suppose it's not -1, it's 1. Just suppose if it was -1, what will it be? It will be minus and then -1. This will become a positive 1. So take care about that. Take care about the sign. Whenever it's a negative sign over here, after the minus sign it becomes positive. So here actually we have a minus because it's a symbol 1 over here. So this becomes -1 whole square. Okay, now when we simplify it, we get -3 -1. This becomes -4 whole squared, and then we add it with -2 -1. It's -3 whole squared, and don't forget the under root sign. Okay, here what we get is -4 squared. -4 squared is positive 16, because whenever we square a negative number we get a positive. Plus 3 squared is 9, positive 9. -3 squared is positive 9 and under root. Okay, here when we simplify it further, we get D is equal to under root 25, and we all know under root 25 is 5, because 25 is 5 squared. I'll just write it over here to save some space. I'll draw an arrow over here. This is 5 squared. D is equal to under root 5 squared, and this becomes D equals to 5. The distance between these 2 points, this distance, the shortest distance between 2 points is this. D is equal to 5. The distance can be from this, but the shortest distance we are talking about. Okay, how did this formula came about? That's the question. How did we get this formula? I'll just erase it all and I'll explain you how did this formula came about. Okay, I hope you are aware of the Pythagoras theorem. If not, I'll suggest that you go in the description of this video and find a link to the video where I explain what Pythagoras theorem is. And okay, so while I'm asking about the Pythagoras theorem because that's where this formula came about. Okay, suppose we have a right angle triangle. This. Suppose it has sides 6, 8, and we have to find this distance. This may seem familiar to this can correspond to this triangle. We are here finding the hypotenuse, and here as well we are finding the hypotenuse. Okay, what Pythagoras theorem says is hypotenuse squared is equal to base squared plus perpendicular squared. That's the Pythagoras formula. Okay, so that's his hypotenuse. Okay, so how do we find it? That's this hypotenuse squared is equal to base squared. Base is 8 squared plus 6 squared. And to get rid of this squared, I take under root over there. Hypotenuse is equal to this under root 8 squared plus 6 squared. Okay, this becomes this formula. This 8 is x2 minus x1. By this x2 minus x1 we get the distance between these 2 points. When we subtract this point from this point, we get this distance, and when we subtract this from this, we get this distance. So when we get these two distances, we square them, and then we take the under root, and that gives us the hypotenuse, this hypotenuse. That's how we find the distance of 2 points between 2 points on an xy plane. I hope now you understand how to find the distance between 2 points. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.